It's Monday morning and fears around the world are starting to ease as we start to see people not really caring about new variants and new drama and new problems in the world. But, well, we're all wondering, well, what? Let's just buy the dip. Talking about what's going on in the market right now today. It's Monday. Breaking it down right here, right now. So stay tuned. What's going on, guys? Patrick here. Welcome back. It's Monday, baby. The market is not going to zero, at least today. Most of the market bouncing back after fears of the new variant and all that fun stuff on Friday with interest rates and everything else going on. We're going to take a look at some charts here and talk about kind of what I'm seeing, what I'm believing, and what my plan is for the overall stock market today, this week, and for the rest of 20. All right, so I'm gonna make this quick and I'll make it simple. I'm gonna make it easy. Right now, looking at the SPY here, this is always the biggest indicator for the overall market. I'm definitely looking at this one. If I'm going to be investing in anything, I'm looking at the SPY kind of to get an idea of the bigger picture. What is the market telling us with the SPY? And you can see recently kind of bouncing off of that 450 area here on the SPY, which is perfectly correlating with that 0.5 area on the Fibonacci. We kind of already pointed that out before. You can see today kind of a little bit of indecision, a little bit of selling pressure coming in there, but overall we're still pushing up off of that level and had a big pushback after Friday's kind of sell off. The media kind of pushing a narrative, you know, with the COVID and interest rates and all those things. But the way that I'm looking at it right now is if you look at the bigger, I hate to always say bigger picture, but if you look at it from a overall idea, where can people put their money at to get a return right now? You're not going to get money. You're not going to make a return just having money sitting in your bank account. There's not really any like solid ways to put money to work right now, especially with interest rates being so low. And then you got to really think about inflation kind of really taking off as well here going into 2022. I know a lot of people think that inflation will kind of level out, but I personally believe that inflation is here to stay, and we're going to see some serious moves in the overall kind of value of things based on the US dollar because of that inflation. You know, you have gas prices and all these things skyrocketing in value, not because they're worth more money, but because the dollar bill is losing its value. So, you know, when you go to the grocery store and you buy a gallon of milk, the reason that the gallon of milk is becoming more expensive is not because there's less cows and it's hard to get milk, it's because of inflation. And well, that also plays into the overall market. So when we get these big moves the upside, those big moves the upside don't just happen because people believe stocks are going to go higher, but because of inflation, because the value of the dollar. If you look at the kind of last 100 years of stock market, the reason that the stock market has gone higher and higher and higher is because of inflation. And well, I still believe that I'm very bullish here off of the SPY and thinking that this is going to want to push up to all-time highs going in towards the end of the year. You know, we're kind of like in that second week of December now. We got a few more days. We need more of a push. But I think if we kind of push up to this level, that 460, and we kind of keep pushing and pushing, the FOMO will begin, and people will think like, wow, you know, I need to get in on this before the overall market goes higher and higher, and I miss out. So people are looking at it like right now, they're scared, they're kind of fearful because of the pullback. But if this kind of stabilizes off of that 450 level and starts to push up there, well, then people get excited, and the FOMO will get real, and people will start to really think about buying, because they don't want to miss out on the end of year rally. You got more earnings coming. You got more good news. I'm thinking there's going to be more good news coming out all of a sudden. Like everything's just going to get better, happier. I don't know. This is the way I'm looking at it right now, and I'm going to stick to my thesis. That's one thing that I've learned over the years with the stock market is you can't change your thesis on a stock or the overall direction. You can't change your thesis based on small movements. You know, obviously this is a large movement, but when we look at the overall picture here, it's nothing, right? Like we don't even worry about that movement at this point. So that's why I'm still bullish. That's why I still believe the market will head towards that all-time high going in towards the end of the year. It could be, January, into January here, kind of getting to that all-time high, pushing up to that $500 level on the SPY. And well, if you're looking at options, you're looking at the stock market right now, I think there's a pretty good opportunity here off of this level, especially how this all is kind of working out. And having, that 0.5 area on the Fibonacci, having that previous resistance there at the 458, bouncing off of that, turning that previous resistance into support, and now getting a move higher. So the next stock we're looking at here is TQQ. I talk about this one a lot. This is a 3 times or 2 times ETF. This is a So the next stock we're looking at here is TQQ. This is a 2x ETF. If you focus on this chart, I like to think about this chart as kind of giving me a better idea of what the overall tech market is doing, where the opportunities are. But I'm also looking at this like if there are big dips in the market, this is a good dip buy because I get exposure to the overall market in terms of tech, and then I also get that 2x return. So if I'm able to nail the dip here and we start to get a big rally back towards the end of the year, I'm going to get 2x that return over just buying Facebook or over just buying Amazon or Apple or things like that. With TQQ, I get exposure to all those tech stocks, and then I also get that 2x return. The thing about this is, obviously, if it does start to go down again, we will see bigger moves to the downside here for TQQ, while the overall market might only move 2%, while TQQ is going to move, 4 to 6% based on the stocks that are in this ETF or ETN. I don't know, I think it's an ETF. Right, yeah, it's an ETF. So if we're focused here, so looking at this, looking at it from a technical standpoint here, looking at the EMAs, how it's all lining up, I'm still kind of very bullish as well off of the tech stocks kind of rallying in towards the end of the year. I think there's just a lot of FUD out there right now. A lot of people kind of looking at, the media too much, and you got to think, the media is not really telling you the story. The media is telling you a narrative. The media has an agenda. No matter what they're pushing an agenda because they want to get reactions. They want to get emotion out of people. And the fear that they're creating basically makes people want to watch their TV show and want to watch the news, because every day people are like, I need to watch the news to see what kind of drama is happening in the world today. So I'm still very bullish here on TQQ as well. And like I said, the overall market, and looking for this push up here. This could really end up, 200 plus by the end of the year here if the market starts to push, because we're going to get that 2x move. So if the overall market only moves, 10%, we're going to get a 20% move here in TQQ. And again, I want to stress that obviously bigger upside returns can also mean bigger downside returns as well. So please always have your risk management based on, what you're able to lose in the market. You should never be risking more than you're able to lose, or willing to lose, I guess, is a good way to look at it. I'm trying to keep this video short and sweet. Looking at AMC, we got to talk about AMC, obviously, because we, just got to talk about it. AMC today trying to push back up there after Friday's big sell-off, but having a little bit of trouble. You can see here on the daily candle that indecision, that pushback down, the selling coming in there off of that $30 level. And well, I don't know about you guys, but the bigger picture stays the same, right? We've had higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. We had these, higher lows. We had lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. We did have higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, but we lost that support there at $28. And I don't know about you, but it looks very much like it just wants to touch down here to that $16 level. And well, if you look at the bigger, you look at the daily candles here, there's a story. There's a story that needs to be told here. There's obviously always a chance that we get a push back up here, but there's still just this looming idea that AMC will go lower from here, even though everyone believes it'll go higher and higher forever. I like to look at kind of what is actually going on and living in a real world here, and not a fantasy land that AMC is going to go to $1 million tomorrow. Maybe it does. I don't know, but I like to be realistic. And well, if I look at the chart, I look at the history here, it looks very much like AMC does want to continue lower. There always is, a push back up. It pushes back up here, this area here, 36, and then starts to turn down again. And I think all these turn downs will just start to get more and more aggressive, because people will start to lose hope and people will start to panic sell. And, the lower this goes, the faster the panic selling will happen, and it'll cause more selling and more panicking and more selling pressure. So on that note, keeping it short and sweet here, the overall market, I still believe that most overall stocks will go higher towards the end of the year. I also believe that AMC will not go higher, or at least will not go to $100 anytime soon. So if you guys haven't already, do me one favor, hit that like button, subscribe button, all the buttons down below. I will talk to you guys later on.